Hello everybody, welcome back. So today's video, we're gonna talk a little bit about dreams again. Specifically, we're gonna talk about, I think everybody has had at least an instance of this type of dream, and I'm talking about sleep paralysis. I've had sleep paralysis at least 3 times, but I'm gonna talk about the 2 times that I remember. And actually, earlier this week, I had a case of sleep paralysis, or an instance of sleep paralysis, and I think it was the most vivid one that I've had to date. And actually, I don't really know how many times I've had sleep paralysis, but I can, as of now, only remember of 2 instances. The last instance that I had of where the last, so again, this week, like 2 nights ago, 3 nights ago, I had a pretty bad case of sleep paralysis, and then before that, it had been a couple months, and then before that, I think it's been like 2 years or something like that. And I wanted to share them. Just, it's midnight, it's past midnight right now. You can't tell because of the great lighting that I have, but I wanted to drop in and talk a little bit about these dreams that I've had. So stick around if you'd like to get a little spooked. Now, first, I do want to disclose I am a lucid dreamer, and I do tend to have very vivid dreams. And I think with lucid dreaming, most of us have experienced that in an instance or whatnot. I also am a person that tends to remember her dreams pretty well. And then when I wake up, I try to replay. If let's say I had a dream that I want to remember, like for a long time, what I do is once I wake up, I will replay that dream over and over again, a few times before I do anything else, and that ensures that I remember the dream. So I have dreams that I've had, years ago, that I still remember, and I think that's actually what's helped become a very vivid dreamer, and a lucid dreamer. I know there's ways in which people, if you look online, there's a lot of people that try to become lucid dreamers. So other people tell them, oh, tips and tricks on how to become a lucid dreamer. I don't have any of those tips and tricks. I'm sorry. So I'm sorry. The only thing I do is if I wake up and I do remember a dream, so I try to replay it over and over in my mind. Once I'm satisfied, I wake up and go about my day. Now, again, going back into the most recent instance of sleep paralysis that I had, and actually, yeah, I'll start with that one, because it was the most recent one. Basically, what ended up happening. So, that day, I woke up, and I know I had a dream, right? I woke up pretty early that day, and then I had some breakfast. I waited a little bit, and then I was like, you know what? I'm still sleepy, so I'm gonna go take a nap. And then I went to take a nap, and then that's when I had the sleep paralysis. So I went to take a nap, and I took a nap with a few pillows. I didn't sleep all the way laying down. Had a few pillows, so I was a little bit upright, and it was already daytime again. And what I did is, because I have just one window in my room, I usually have a room darkening curtain. I have a room darkening curtain. So even if it's morning, the light barely comes through. It only comes through on the edges where the curtain is kind of, hanging from. So that's very important, because what I did that morning is I opened up the curtain just a little bit so the daytime light could come in. So the room wasn't dark. It was pretty clear, and it was a very sunny day. So anyways, I went to sleep, and then I had that sleep paralysis dream. So I'm going to show you a bit of a schematic of my room. So this is my room. This is the door to get in, the closet. This is a bookshelf, my desk, my bed. It's a full-size bed, and my room isn't that big. It's like 10 by 10. And then my dresser and my TV are here. So I was sleeping on this side. As you can see, to go in to my room, you can either go through this side or this side to get into my bed. And so again, I was sleeping on this side, and again, the window was here. This is a window, and the window was here, and it was opened, like I would say like a good fifth of the window curtain was open so the light could come in. And so in my dream, again, so one thing to note, when you are a lucid dreamer, you know you're sleeping, and you know you're dreaming. That's the one thing to note. So in my dream, I was dreaming that I was waking up, and everything was the same. I was wearing the same clothes that I went to sleep in. Everything was the same. The light was coming through. Again, everything was exactly the same. And that's very important when it comes to sleep paralysis, because it's the same. But again, you're mindful of the fact that you're sleeping. That's the other thing. So in my dream, I was waking up, and I was feeling a little bit tired for some reason, like really, really tired, groggy, if you will. And as I was waking up, I was looking towards the door and the closet side. And in this area here, I saw a man standing here. Now, this freaked me out because I was alone, and the door was closed, and my front door, I have extra security measures. Nobody can break in, basically. It's very well protected. I live in a pretty safe neighborhood also. So with that in mind, your mind is kind of like figuring out, is this real? Is this not real? Is this a dream? Is it not a dream? Right? Your mind is fighting. But I saw a man here standing by the side of my bed, looking at me, and he was smiling. He was wearing black pants and a green shirt, actually like this green. Black pants and a green shirt, and he was smiling, looking directly at me. He gets on top of my bed, and I feel the bed. You know, when someone gets on top of the bed, it makes movement. You feel their weight. I feel the weight of this man on my bed. And again, this is happening pretty quickly. As he's getting on my bed, I, for some reason, decide to say, I ask, how did you get in? And I also ask, or not ask, but I say, you're not real. You're not real. Why are you here? And this is simultaneously happening as I see him. You know, I open my eyes, I see him, and then he sees me. He's smiling, and it's the most horrific smile that you can imagine. He gets on my bed. He gets, again, so this is my body, right? This is me right here. And he gets at the foot of my bed. He's on top of the bed. And I'm simultaneously like asking, like saying, you're not real. You're not real. And it's at this time that I get down and I run kind of clumsily, but I run out of my room because as I see him in front of me and I'm saying, you're not real, and I get down, I think, go get the holy waters. So I have holy water here in my house, and I have it in my living room. And so I'm like, go get the holy water, right? So I run out, get the holy water, and as I'm walking out, I turn back, and mind you, this is daytime. Daylight is coming through. He's still on my bed, and I'm running out, and as as I'm running out, I turn back, look at my bed, and he disappears. But I still make it to the living room. I grab the bottle that I have of holy water, and I start sprinkling everywhere, and I start praying out loud. And I'm praying, and I'm making my way back into my room, sprinkling water, and then I make my way back into my bed, and I leave the holy water here. And I position myself in the position that I woke up in as I was seeing the man that was next to my bed. And as I'm waking or going back to bed, I feel exhausted. It's exhaustion. I think I was afraid, but I felt more exhausted than afraid, right? So I get back in my bed, I put the holy water on my desk, and as I'm going back to sleep, I wake up in real life. And I wake up super tired, super exhausted, super out of it. And so it was like simultaneous, like I'm going back to sleep and then I wake up. And so that was my sleep paralysis dream that I had recently. And all of that happened during the dream, right? That was the dream. Me getting the holy water, that was a dream. And I feel like it's a situation of, and this was the first situation I've had of sleep paralysis, where I encountered what you would call an incubus, if you will. It had those tones of, I'm sure you've heard of the succubus, the incubus, basically those night demons or whatever you want to call it that, would take advantage of people in their dreams. There was like these undertones to them, and his smile was so scary to me. The way this man, because it was a man, was looking at me, it was horrifying. But for some reason, again, in my mind, I said, you're not real, because I knew it was not real. I knew it was not real. And my mind immediately went to go get the holy water. And again, all of that happened in my dream. I went to get the holy water in my dream. And then I go back and then I wake up. So it also felt like a situation of like astral projection. Like my soul stepped out of my body to go get the holy water and pray. And then it had to come back to my body, to the position I was sleeping in. And then once it went in, I woke up. That's how it felt. That's the only way I can explain it. And it was really, really, really scary. So that was my latest instance of sleep paralysis. Before that, a few months ago, I had another instance of sleep paralysis. This one was not as scary, but it was still pretty scary. So what happened? So my room again, same sort of display, right? Bed, dresser, desk, and then my little bookshelf, right? Same thing. So I'm sleeping like this, normal. This is usually how I sleep. And in my sleep paralysis dream, I was actually, and I'm gonna get this blue marker just to show. So everything's like this. And I do want to disclose right here, I have a lamp. There's a lamp right here that I can easily just reach out, turn on, turn off. So I woke up in my dream, but I woke up on the opposite side of the bed. So I woke up like this, right? This would be me. Right? Little stick person right there. So I woke up like this, although in the real world my body was, facing the other way. It was against, my head was against the wall. But I woke up and I couldn't move. So it was really wild. Like, because with sleep paralysis, it's like everything, at least in my case, it's like I wake up and everything's the same, but I'm not really waking up. I'm still dreaming and I'm in my room. But the only difference, and there's usually something that's always like off in your sleep paralysis dream that lets you know that you're dreaming, right? Because it could be easy to confuse the fact that you're, actually awake, but you're not really awake because you're dreaming. So when I, woke up, I was positioned differently, right? My head was against this side of the bed. And so when I woke up, my lamp was on this side as well. Or actually on this side. My lamp was here. And so I was trying to turn on the light. So in my dream, I was trying to wake up, but my body felt heavy. I couldn't move at all. I could not move at all. And so I'm reaching out for the lamp, which is on my left side, right? And I'm trying to reach in it. I'm trying to turn it on, but as I'm turning the dial to turn it on, it makes a click, but it doesn't turn on. And I keep telling myself, please turn on, because I have to wake up. Please turn on, I have to wake up. I have to wake up. Let me wake up. And then after a few tries, I think it was 2 or 3 tries, the light turns on, and then that's when I wake up. So my body felt immobilized. I somehow managed to reach out to the lamp, and I kept telling myself, wake up, wake up, wake up. And as I'm saying wake up, I'm trying to turn on the light, and then finally it turns on. That was my sleep paralysis dream a few months ago. And again, it was pretty vivid. When I wake up from certain dreams, certain nightmares from sleep paralysis, and I'm sure you guys can also tell me that this is true for you. When I wake up, I feel so exhausted. And then you wake up with your heart racing also. You're just like, because you're scared, right? So that's the other aspect of it. And then you have to just kind of wait for your body to calm down and relax and tell yourself, okay, it was just a dream. It's not real. It's fine. So yeah, I wanted to share my sleep paralysis, the 2 instances of sleep paralysis that I remember. Share yours in the comment section if you want. I might share more of my dreams, because I know some of you I know people that have told me, well, I never remember my dreams, or I don't ever dream. It could be because you don't ever reach REM, which could be maybe because you're snoring. A lot of people that snore tend to never reach REM. And I'm actually not a snorer, and I'm not trying to brag, because the only times I do snore is when I'm really sick, like when I have a cold. But that's one thing that I know is, for people that maybe don't dream, it's because they They never reach REM, which is when you're fully dreaming, and REM happens in short bursts throughout the night. So sometimes people have several dreams, which I know has happened to me because that's usually the case, and I do tend to remember them. Uh, Again, I have pretty good memory when it comes to my dreams. So I remember some of my dreams, a lot of my dreams. I might share them in the next video. If you're interested in, let me know. Um, I think dreams are so interesting. So yeah, again, I just wanted to share this with y'all. I'm sorry it's taken a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I just wanted to share. Thanks for listening. Have a good night, and I should probably go to sleep too. Bye.